What's it feel like when you're on the road for a tough game and you look up into the stands, whether it was College Station earlier this year or what's expected down in Austin, and you see a large section of OSU fans that made the trip from Stillwater?
Well, it means a lot to our players, which is more important than anything. The players need to feel like that they've been rewarded for what they put into getting to where they are right now. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it and a lot of sacrifice, and it takes some time and years to build up a following, and so it's somewhat of a success story to think that we have that many people follow us to watch a game. The economy's not great, travel and gas is expensive, so it's not easy for a family of four to get from Oklahoma to down to Austin and watch a game, and it's a sacrifice for those people for time and their time and their money to get there, and so it means a lot to us and the players to have a good following on the road.
Coach, I think you prepare for a team like Texas that consistently is a top 5, top 10 recruiting class, has all the talent in the world, is capable of being a top team in the nation, just hadn't quite put it together yet. You know that wild card's there at any time. What's the preparation that goes into the week?
Well, we're not going to change how we prepare for any game. And last week or 2 weeks or however long ago when we were preparing for Kansas, it was the same as it is this week. And we're into a schedule now where we work out Sunday and we're off Monday, and we practice for about an hour 50 on Tuesday, and Wednesday we're only out there about an hour and a half and an hour on Thursday, and that's it. And so that routine's not going to change. And coaches have a way of preparing, and we have a certain number of plays that we want to run in practice, and Coach Glass has a certain amount of lifts he wants to get in, and the players have to buy into nutrition and hydration and sleep and all those things that give them the best opportunity to have success on Saturday. And then you have to avoid distractions and stay focused, and that gives you the best chance to play full speed on Saturday and continue to win games. And if there's any of those areas where you fail to do so as a coach or a player, then you take a chance on not performing at a high level on Saturday, and when you play a team like Texas, you can get beat. And so the players have to understand that. Hopefully our coaches who are more mature understand that, and you put your time in Sunday until we travel down there on Friday, and then you go play. You have fun and let the players have fun and let it fall however it falls.
And you've been around football for a while. Where would beating Texas twice, 2 years in a row in Austin, rank on your list of achievements that you've been a part of?
Well, I think it's always a good win. I mean, Texas is maybe one of the top 5 tradition-rich football programs in the country, and so it'd be good to win another game against Texas and win a football game down there. But on the other hand, we all know this. The one thing that college football has going for you is every week's a big week. And I mentioned this the other day, and Texas is a big game because we won the games prior to Texas. And if you slip it any week, then you got to get back on track, and then the next one will be a big game. So that's the driving force behind college football right now, in my opinion, is every week's a big game.
Coach, you guys brought Herschel Sims and Desmond Rowland out of redshirt this week. Between those two guys and Josh Stewart, who do you think we see play the most for the Cowboys this year?
Well, it depends on what our plan is that week. And, we have a number of receivers, and Josh rotates in, and we've got 3 backs with Kai Staley, and those 2 freshmen will rotate in some. But they've come along enough now, and they understand our offense where they can contribute in certain situations. And because of that, and just our history as a coaching staff and the thought and the study that's gone into, when you get into the latter part of October and November, will you need players that have competed in games to maybe come in and play? And in our opinion, the answer is yes. But to answer your question, who will play the most from this point on, I don't know. I mean, that's based on how the other team defends us and staying healthy.
With the first BCS poll coming out on Sunday, is there a point where you start consciously thinking about the so-called style points or impressive wins, or do you just don't let that come into your mind and just try to win against it?
I've never been a big fan of that. Again, when you comment on a subject like that, half the people are going to agree with you and half of them aren't. So I've always stayed away from that. We believe that if we think that the game is in control, then we're going to play our other guys. And we want them to get experience, and we want other guys that have worked hard year-round to be able to get out in the field and play. And so we have not thought much about style points.
A nice chunk of your roster's from Texas. Talk about what it means for those guys to go back home to their home state and play a game there against Texas.
Well, they always enjoy playing there. They have their friends and family that get to come to the game. It's easy for them to get to, and one of the advantages we have in our league is the players we recruit know that we're going to play in Texas every year, and in most cases, minimum of 2 games will be played down there. So that's always helped us in recruiting when the players can get back there and play in a game, and the current players know that their families can come watch them.
Do you feel like they have a chip on their shoulder to perform better in their home state?
Not really. And I know that kind of busts everybody's bubble from a media standpoint, but honestly, those guys, they're just trying to get out of bed and go to class and make it through Rob's workouts and show up over here on time and practice good, and then they got to go to study hall. So they just try to, just like all of us, they just try to fight through every day, and I just don't think they put much thought into those kind of situations.
Mike, the one thing Texas did well Saturday is stop the run. What makes, I know they're really good up front, front seven's really good. What makes you think you can have success running on them Saturday?
Well, I think we have to have balance, and running game, in our opinions, based on the ability to throw the ball and throw it at different levels. You have to throw the ball down the field, and you have to throw the ball out in the flat. You have to throw the ball in the intermediate routes. You have to be able to throw underneath passes, and we feel like that a balanced attack to a certain extent, and then being able to throw the ball at different levels and use the width of the field gives you the best chance to run the ball.
Been able to absorb a couple injuries on your front line, would you talk about? How you feel like you stand there and you feel like you're holding up pretty well despite?
We've got some guys that have a little bit of experience, and we've finally built some depth up on the offensive line. My first really 3 or 4 years here as a head coach, we always had a great concern about losing a player, and losing Jonathan Rush definitely affects our team because of his experience. But we had a couple guys that stepped up and made some plays. Parker Graham, Bowie's back working in there some, and then Casey LeBrew came in and played really well for us. And he's a good story. He's came in here at 245 pounds, walked on from Enid, and now he's a 280-pound guy that got to play in a game and started and played very well and was our offensive player of the game. So hopefully we've made some strides that an injury, which will always affect your team, doesn't affect us like it used to.
Mike, did you like your uniform Saturday?
Barry,
Did you ever play Booker T when you were in high school?
fortunately, no.
You look like Brady. You look like
They got beat out the game. They got beat by Muskogee the game before we were going to play them. And to be honest with you, I was glad they got beat. But you bring that up, and usually when I get home at night, the first thing I get critiqued on was the uniforms. And it went by with flying colors this week. So between my wife and the Coach Holder wanting the black helmets, they got both of them off my back in 1 week.
What's been your favorite combination so far?
Well, I don't know. It'd be hard to beat the ones we just wore. I thought they looked pretty good. And they may have looked better because of the way we played.
Mike, in '06, you went to Texas, and they gave you a hat during the pregame ceremony. Whatever became of that hat?
I still have it.
One of the most unforgettable sports images of my life is seeing you walk off the field in that black cowboy hat.
I still have it.
Do you?
Yes,
You ever
sir.
break it out?
No. I hadn't got into country and western dancing yet. But I still have that hat.
Now, if I remember right, isn't it the first time an opposing coach appears at their stadium, they give them that hat and it's
correct.
Kind of welcome to Austin, kind of deal.
Yes.
Were you aware of that before?
About 10 minutes before that, they came and told me that I had to go out there for a presentation. And I thought they were kidding. I said, you want me to walk out in their stadium in front of 95,000, or how many people are there, and get presented something? And that's when they were, what, 1 or 2 in the country or something? So,
Mike, do you think you might at some point get superstitious about the uniforms if you go out there and annihilate teams with one combination and then?
you know, the one advantage of having a different one for every game is there's no way to create superstition, because we have a different one for every game, and the players, the group of players that have that pick out the uniforms, they've already laid them all out for the rest of the season. And I just was made aware of that a while back, and I didn't know that they had done that. So that will eliminate all superstition.
Coach, would you guys be willing to wear all pink in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month?
I'm for breast cancer awareness. In fact, my oldest son wore pink socks in his game last week. I wasn't there, but he wore pink socks, and so did my middle one last week. So anything we can do to help out people that need help, and it's not hard for us to do it. If somebody wanted to provide that, we would probably do whatever it takes. We hadn't been provided that opportunity at this point.
You know, on Saturday, Isaiah had orange, or not orange, but pink gloves and a pink towel. He was the only guy. And I noticed some other college teams had one guy on their team wearing pink, accents. I mean, did that come up?
I didn't notice
is
that.
Out of your territory?
That's over my head. I was unaware of that. Okay. Thank you.